Greetings, Goddess Body Mind Spirit community. This is Tyra Omilade, your Goddess Guru, your sister friend. And you know I love helping women align with their life purpose and stepping into their power, using the power of ancient wisdom and the goddess-centered lifestyle. Happy new moon in Scorpio. How are you all doing out there? How's the G Hive? Good to see everybody. Yes, this is recorded. I'm not live where everybody can see me. Um, yeah, it's been a challenging last couple of weeks. Some of y'all may have seen that I posted that my father-in-law passed, and so yeah, it's kind of intense when the patriarch goes on back to ancestral world. Not intense in the sense that anything is wrong with my husband and his siblings. This is not unexpected. But it's always a whirlwind, and then they are adjusting to their dad being on the other side. 87, lived a very good life. I think the way I want to describe my father-in-law, to hear so much about him, but it's all like kind of concentrated, during the time where people were talking about him. Um, Totally a trailblazer and someone who was very unique for a Black man to be so varied in experience. My husband was talking about how his dad would go all in on everything that he did. So he was in the military. He played golf, actually. Black man. He was born in the 30s. For a little while, he played golf for the army, and then he became special forces, and then he taught the special forces, and um, he traveled around the world. He had wife and children, and became a pastor, and ended up getting a degree in ministry, a bachelor's degree, and um, pastored for a number of years, always doing something for the community, giving, 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 and just a pillar in the community, just a pillar. So my husband comes from good stock, and my husband and his siblings come from good stock, and it's so evident in their lives. So yeah, it's a blessing to see this kind of family. Not No family is perfect, but I will say, in terms of health, I would say this was a very healthy family. Um, and so it was reflected. It is reflected so much in just how things unfolded. So I just kept going last week. I pulled back a little bit, but I still had a lot to do. And even after the funeral for my business, just didn't want to cancel stuff because it was like, nope, let me just go on ahead and get it done, so that I could have even more space. So this new moon for me is so nourishing and beautiful. It just feels so good. It's a very chill day. So I give thanks that this has been a really, really nice, chill new moon where I can be thoughtful and we really focus on this energy of transformation. And so I wanted to come on and just talk a little bit about it. I want to say that every month when I do my new moon circle, I go in depth and I create tools that people can use for the new moon. So I hope that y'all will avail yourselves to that, because the way I see how people are working spirituality because of the internet is just so easy to watch a lot of content. But the question is, how do you really apply it in a way where things work for you? And so, to get a deeper reading, go get a reading. I tell y'all that y'all should get a reading. Yes, you should get your reading with me, but if you don't, go get one. Mystic Storm does readings. I don't know if y'all have seen her on my live streams. Go get a reading with Mystic Storm. Get a reading. If I've left anybody off, I'm sorry, but I know for a fact I see Morgan posting her stuff, so that's why she's popping in my mind. And if you look for Mystic Storm Spirituality, that's who she is here on YouTube. and Instagram. But anywho, um, I remember when I first started my inner circle, which is no longer a thing, but when I first started my inner circle, I remember noticing how starved people are. People are very starved. Um, and some of that is because we are under an illusion of videos. Like I see all the videos coming out. Y'all, I watch the videos too. Come on, y'all. Y'all know I'm watching the videos just like y'all. Like on, this new moon video or that new moon video or this spiritual video or that spiritual video. Um, and sometimes I just kind of feel like, why should I put my video out? Because, we're all talking the same thing. But the other part is I really don't want you all to be up under the illusion of watching these videos is what actually creates the change. Creating the change comes from finding a way to apply it. And when you don't know, then I invite you to join me in my new moon circles, because my thing is I want to help you to activate this energy in your life so that if we're in a moon that's about transformation, for some people, you're experiencing general transformation. Some people are experiencing more radical, might feel a bit uncomfortable, painful, even transformation. Um, so that you'll know exactly what to do. You want to know how to navigate this Scorpio energy. But with that, in my circle, I want to say if you paid for the circle and you weren't there, please watch the video. I had a very small number of ladies who were in that circle. It was just me and two other ladies, which is okay. More were registered, but it was only me and two other ladies who were live. And that was probably for me the best circle that I've ever done. Um, yeah. And it was the day of my father-in-law's funeral. It was that evening. I decided to go on ahead and keep that circle because I felt like I needed something to plug into after that long busy day. Um, and we activated the inner priestess. And so yeah, it was extremely powerful and transformative, and I'm so grateful for it. So I hope that you have some type of ritual, even if all you do is light a candle and write down what it is you wish to manifest. Also, I encourage you to make a sacrifice of some sort. It's Scorpio. Come on. Scorpio is about letting something go. What are you willing to let go of in order to get to where you want to be? Is it a belief? Is it a habit? Is it a relationship? Is it a job? Is it an identity? Is it a wound? Because it's, again, Scorpio. What is it? Um, yeah, so let's look at this. What am I doing? Okay. So, things to know about this moon are number one, the new moon always involves, of course, the moon and the sun. Them being close together is what makes it a new moon. Um, and Venus is involved in this new moon. Let's see here. So that's the first thing I want to share, that this moon involves both luminaries, the moon and the sun, along with Venus. Now, Venus in Scorpio is actually not the best position because she's about harmony. Actually, she rules Taurus, and Taurus is the exact opposite of Scorpio. Taurus is laid back, it's chill, it's very inert, and earthy, and let's take our time, and about pleasure, whereas Scorpio is about intensity and wounding and going deep, dark into the muck and the mire so that we can see what is down there and get those pipes all clean. Taurus would never have anything to do with all that dirt in the pipes. Are you kidding me? But here she is. Venus was in Scorpio. Everything happens for a reason in astrology. So, we have this energy that's like, let's reset. And it's a very big reset because we have the node of the moon there. And so when the node of the moon is a part of the new moon, it's an eclipse. And eclipses bring fated changes, and um, they help to course correct. If you're off course with your destiny, the eclipses help to course correct. So where you need transformation, that is what this moon is about. Like, you need something where when you finish, you're a different person. A lot of this transformation is going to come from going into the dark, dealing with the trauma. Um, Maybe it's just going deep, looking into your trust issues or your intimacy issues. And Scorpio is about eh, it's about initiation and ancient ancient wisdom, and it's like things that are taboo. And maybe it's like there's something that you need to look into, but you like inside of yourself. But for you, it's just like, no, we don't go there. There's a lot of us that have that. It's like, we do not go down this path of revisiting the past. I don't care how much I feel like I'm pushing that door shut, and, whatever's there is knocking and trying to get in. We don't do that, right? So if you want some kind of transformation or the ability to face the hard things in life so that you can get your breakthrough and get your transformation and get to the other side, because the other side of Scorpio is Sag. Sag is about expansion and growth. It's like new vision, right? So in order for you to get to that vision or to have that expanded understanding of the world, your paradigm, you've got to go through the underworld. That is essentially what Scorpio is. It's taking the time to go down into the belly of the earth. When we think about all those mythologies where people had to descend down into the underworld. Um, and so that's what Scorpio is about. You got to go deep, you got to go into the darkness. And it's difficult because, of course, when we're dealing with things that are in the dark, you can't really see far ahead. It's scary, it's creepy, and then there's all kinds. It's just like Halloween. This is what Halloween is doing. Scorpio. It's got all these monsters, which are a lot of times like our inner gremlins, or it might be, um, negative thoughts where we're beating ourselves up and lack of compassion, or it could be that voice, that critical voice that is constantly keeping us in check. And it may be a voice that was from like a long time ago, some adult when you were growing up. And so, we got all these ghosts, we got all the stuff that we feel guilty about and feel bad about, and we think we suck because of I did this or I did that. And all of that, like during Scorpio, it's like right here, right? Um, but that's what we're here to face. That's people don't want to do that, but it's a part of the will of life. It's a part of what we do. It's how we continue to grow and evolve. And it's how we escape the wheel of reincarnation, actually, is when we use the scorpionic energy. But the other side, no one stays down in the belly. Everyone is going to come up. That's Sag. Sag is fun. We're going to travel. We're going to learn new things. We're going to become an expert and a teacher on something, right? So, but you will not get to this amazing Sag energy of optimism and vision and expansion and fun, mastery until we go through Scorpio. So you want to set new moon intentions that are about transformation. Some of us need gentle transformation right now. I know I do. It's been a rough last year. All of this Scorpio energy, actually, the Taurus and the Scorpio energy kicked in last year, right around this time. But what is needed, and that's why I did what I did in my new moon circle for Scorpio, activate that inner priestess, because the inner priestess is how we navigate this underworld. Okay. So you want to set intentions that are about transformation, where you want to be like, I made this, I set this intention, and when it manifests, you will be like, there is no question that this manifested because I put this intention in place with these Scorpio eclipses. Okay. So you want it to be that kind of transformative. And it's Scorpio is always transformational, but it is especially transformational with an eclipse. You kind of want to think about like, how do you want to wildly swing your life, and just think about the areas of life, maybe two areas of life where you feel like you struggle the most. You just do not have peace in these areas and you want a breakthrough. Set an intention or two for you to be completely and totally different next year come this time. Okay. Give yourself a year for it to manifest. It may not be something that's going to take a year, but give yourself a little bit of time to work through the process of transformation. You want to break through? Do you want to let something go in order for you to get to where you really want to be? These are the kinds of new moon intentions. Set them regarding healing. Now, Scorpio is also a house that has to do with money. So set some intentions around money, especially money that is about debt or taxes, inheritance. Maybe some people need to set up a will, or maybe you are in the middle of a legal battle regarding wills and you're ready for it to end. Set that intention. It is resolved. Thank you, Scorpio. And then let Scorpio, help you to see the path forward. Follow the wisdom. But with Venus being there, I will say it's definitely a transformation that we can do within our feminine energy, within our money. Some of us need some money transformations. Um, so definitely that. It's a lot going on with money. Money is a big topic because one of the nodes of the moon is down here in Taurus. So there's a lot going on with um, how we make money, the system of money and how it works. This is why we're going to be seeing lots of volatility. I know I've heard them talking about the euro. Something might go on with the euro. Um, right now the dollar is very strong. I've heard people kind of talk about it. It's not my forte, but there's a reason that the dollar is strong, and it's just creating this. Well, it's strong right now. All this kind of like set up in the world is a lot of people want to be dealing with the dollar, right? Or countries, I should say. Um, Let me see here. What else do I want to say? Money, but yeah, maybe you need a breakthrough in abundance consciousness, abundance mindset, money mindset, and I would think also maybe you want to get a coach, like a money coach. That's a thing. Get a money coach or a coach that helps you learn about manifestation and abundance. Another thing is if you want a transformation in relationships, that would be one. How you look, your appearance. I actually saw a sister who was like, "Hey, does anyone know someone who works on like maybe accepting yourself, your beauty, or something like that?" I can't remember how she phrased it, but um, because Venus is about appearance and beauty. She's about self-worth and value. That might be something else that you want to um, focus on uh, and setting intentions around. At the very least, is kicking all of this off for us. Okay. So 2 degrees, it's very scorpionic. It is very much about, this depth going into the dark. Maybe there needs to be a spiritual or, uh, metaphorical death or of some sort that happens, that where you shed in one way and become anew in another way. um the other thing that I love about this is that Mercury and Saturn are interacting with well, maybe not Saturn. I don't know why I thought it was Saturn. Maybe it was the way I looked at it the other day. But Saturn is definitely in play. Trust and believe, but not with the moon directly, more with Mars, but it's more for sure Mercury. So this air energy is heightened right now. That's something else to think about. Mars is getting very close to retrograding, so I think that whatever it is that we're going to be working on is definitely something that is more of like you need to go back and revisit it. And what is Gemini? Gemini is the mind, the mindset. So maybe that's something that needs transformation or set intentions for transforming your mindset. And if you don't know what that means, it's important for you to, I would say, get into mindfulness or to start learning what does it mean to work with the mindset, right? Maybe beliefs need to be transformed. Um, Something with communication, um, maybe mm, Mercury has to do with all kinds of communication. So maybe set some new moon intentions that might transform some communication that you've been doing, or maybe you want to create some transformational content of some sort. Gemini is also about the shoulders, the arms, the hands. So maybe that we need some healing there. For some of us, I know I need some up here on my shoulders. I say so tense. Um, but the other thing about that Mars is it's squared by Neptune. And so um, I think that that is going to be asking us to set up intentions that are more about like trusting in a divine power, but we won't want to. We'll want to kind of like do a lot of stuff, but we definitely need to be more trusting. We need to be more allowing and receptive. Sometimes it's just not about pushing, pushing, pushing. And so Mars, I mean, yeah, Mars is about to go retrograde anyway. So it is this energy of you need to understand the best path forward with this is to um, how do I say it? Is to maybe be a little bit more slow and methodical. You won't be able to like push, push, push. Um, but it's more of about, maybe like work, rest. Or just straight up, there's going to be swaths of time where you're sleeping and it'll feel like, or you're kind of just like checked out. And it's sort of like part of the process. It's kind of like slow down to speed up, I think is one way to look at it. But I just really think that it's like there's this need for us to trust. And some of that will come through. It'll feel like these thoughts are just kind of coming to us, or a lot of creativity being channeled to us. Um, but we may not pay attention to it. We may feel like that's just like, no, that's not going to make me money, or no, that's not going to get me the success I want. That's too slow. Hustle, grind. And it's just not that kind of, it's not what's happening right now. So overall, it's not too bad of a moon. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah. It's not too bad of a moon. But I just think people need to understand the message of this moon is you need to be willing to get yourself healed up in order to move forward. And there is this energy of slow down and trust the divine. Needs to be this balance, I guess you could say, between like all this mental thinking that we do and then listening to our intuition. Um, so I think what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pull a card or two to see what energy is governing us at this time. Okay. I like doing the cards like right here because then we all get surprised to see. Y'all like my purple? We get to be surprised and see what we get. And yeah, energy govern us for this new moon. Let's see here. Okay, interesting. So out of this deck, this is one of the major um, cards, goddesses, and she is the full card in tarot. And her name is Uzumi. And what did I tell y'all? I said the air energy is supporting us, right? So she is air. And it says Uzumi, she's a Japanese whirling goddess. And there was this goddess Amaterasu who got really sad and ran into a cave. And when she went into a cave, um, I can't remember if it's like the sun wouldn't come out, but everything was just like drab and sad. And so Uzumi went dancing and whirling, and everyone was laughing, and it made Amaterasu come out. So she draws forth the childlike innocence in everyone she meets. She is the essence of spirit. Now, let me tell you what this is. It is that Mars in Gemini. Gemini is very Uzumi like, right? She embodies nonconformity and the transcendence of the earthly realm. She is the archetypal wild woman. She makes merry mockery of all things sacred and profane. She is guileless and in her irreverence, and she reminds you to be free in your expression and the way you view the world. So, this is how I'm going to translate that. Uzumi says be free in your expression, Gemini, which is where Mars is. Why is that important? Because Mars rules Scorpio this moon. So when you really want to know more about this moon, you have to look at the planet that rules that sign. And so Mars is in Gemini. Gemini is like the fun, having a good time, all the jokes, and it's about expression. So she reminds you to be free in your expression and the way you view the world. Free is Scorpio, is giving people freedom. So that's one thing that we want to be looking at. Are we expressing ourselves freely? She calls to your inner child to let go of your baggage and schemes, to surrender your grip on the way you function, and remember that life is a dance. So I say dance, during this new moon also. Be like Uzumi and free your inner radiance into expression. By being your true, genuine essence, release from the restricted limitations of your genetics and the world around you. So again, it's like what do you need to release and let go of so that you can be your authentic self? And one thing about Scorpio, if you know a Scorpio, they can't stand being fake. Scorpio is like the real deal. When you deal with a Scorpio, trust and believe. You're going to get, like I am a Scorpio rising, but, I have Jupiter there. So it makes me a little bit more soft as a Scorpio. But if you ask me what it is I really think, I'm going to tell you, as my mama would say, the true truth. Okay. So that's our goddess. And I'm gonna pull. Let's see what this one's gonna give. I'm gonna make sure yeah, we're gonna do that, and then we'll look at the rest of the. I think I feel this one right here. I love this. I am creative. So this is one of your, and honestly, that Neptune is that creative energy. So it matches. I am creative. I tap into my imagination and design my own unique path. So there is the energy of creativity. We have Venus in the moon. She is about creativity. And then we have that Neptune interacting with that Mars. And so Neptune is about creativity. So, one of the ways we can look at that is um, it's the new moon. Write down what you want, with this energy of creativity. Another way to look at it is, just unlocking and unleashing, like setting new moon intentions that will help you to be more creative. Venus is about the law of attraction. So maybe some people need to get into, the ancient teachings um, the of manifestation. So, okay, so let's look at what else we have this week. So, I'm gonna just start here. So we have Mercury trine Mars. Oh, yes. Okay. So I love that. I love that Mercury is trine Mars in Libra. That's one of the ways that it's bringing in this energy of um, the air energy, because Mercury is in Libra and Mars is in Gemini. So we have these planets in air signs, and Mercury and Mars, that could bring a lot of, energy popping off in the head, a lot of mental energy, a lot of ideas. Could bring some good connections. And, um, Libra is about one to one relationships, it's about contracts, balance, harmony. And we've talked about Gemini, which largely is like communication, the mind, the mindset. So, these two planets combining, maybe it's like there's going to be more connections. You'll, tap more into some relationships that are supportive in whatever it is that you're working on. And yeah, Mercury is belief. So, maybe you'll be feeling motivated in your belief system and what you allow yourself to believe. It actually is producing some abundance for you. And Mars is about passion and drive and focus. And so maybe we'll have some list of things to do and we feel like we just checking them off, baby. This energy I'm going to count as a part of the new moon. So, maybe there's a list that you have not completed and you want to complete, and this new moon can help you to do that. So I love that for us. A trine is always nice. Mercury square Pluto. So that brings a little bit of tension, and it could bring things like power struggles, or we may see where we are struggling to speak our truth, really have um, just boldly say what's on our mind, be brave and say it. So that's something that you want to focus on. If you're at the crossroads and you are being asked, say your true belief, they're asking for what do you really want? Say it. Even if it feels like, well, let me not say it. Trust your God inner guidance. Just know that this aspect may be inviting you to speak your truth, even if it's in the face of somebody that you think has a lot of power over you, or maybe doing so is going to help you stand more in your power. This is definitely about empowerment. And it is about power and control. Could be with an older sibling, could be with somebody like a boss, somebody who's an authority figure, or parent, maybe even. Um, yeah. So opportunities to really walk in your power. And so then Jupiter, which is already retrograde, is going to finally make it back into Pisces, where it'll be for just a couple of weeks retrograde. Then it'll start moving forward and it'll come back into Aries in December. So this is again this energy of revisiting something that maybe was put into place. Jupiter was in Pisces is somewhere closer to like March or so, 2021. The spring. It went in sometime in the spring and it was there for several months before it went back into Aquarius. And then it moved into Pisces at the end of last year. And it was there for several months at the beginning of this year. So you can kind of think back to last year. Um, it was just a short time, but it was there, like I said, around spring, summer. And then again at the top of this year, did something stand out for you? What really stood out? So let me just kind of go through real quick. I'm not going to talk long. So for Aries, it could be something spiritual or some healing. Maybe you are away, you moved away, something like that, to a foreign land, went on a trip to a foreign land, planned the trip. Maybe you hadn't gone yet. And so it could be something like that. Definitely spiritual in nature, healing in the subconscious mind. For Taurus, it could be something regarding being gainful, what was going on in the spring that maybe had something to do with you making money or making new connections. Okay. Yeah, achieving your goals. Think back to this year. And it's hard for me to think back to 2021. I don't feel, or you know what? I was really struggling with my health in 2021. But you know what? I was working on my hypnosis and coaching certifications during that time. And that's when I got them actually around that time. And I am getting deeper into hypnosis. It's like, I really want to do more hypnosis. So that's how it's playing out for me. Um, okay, so Gemini, something regarding your career, what you're known for. Maybe it was a status change that started, it hadn't fully taken place, but or it might be some up level in your career, some certification that you get. With the Cancerians, this is in your ninth house. So Jupiter going back into Pisces could have something to do with you're going to revisit a teaching of uh, um, a teacher. Maybe you found somebody you were like, oh, I really love this teacher. But you need to go back and revisit the teachings. Maybe you just got away from like listening to the teacher. You're going to get back to listening to that teacher. It's also about expansion. Something has grown, something, some expansive something has happened for you. Maybe a vision got set in place, and now you're going to begin to see the vision is actually going to manifest itself. Maybe you are going to finish a certification of some sort, revisit it. If you've already done with it, you might want to revisit it. So something like that. Also, some of the Cancerians who are writers may find that they are going to start publishing or something revisiting publishing. So for the Leos, Pisces is in your eighth house, which has to do with this scorpionic thing that we've been talking about, like dealing with your trauma and healing up. I call it radical self-care. Could also be bringing up topics regarding estate planning, taxes, different things like that. But this is definitely one of these houses that you'll feel it on the inside, Leo. Leos and all the fire signs, the Leos, the Aries, and the Sagittarius. Jupiter in Pisces makes you maybe feel more emotional than you're comfortable with. So yeah. Now for Virgo, this is happening in your seventh house. So for Virgos, it could be a revisiting of topics regarding relationships, like BFF type relationships, marital relationships, business partnerships. It could also bring up topics regarding court cases and balance, harmony. Like, are you balanced? Are you in harmony? Um, yeah. Support. Also, topics of support. Maybe there was somebody who was supporting you. You're not being supported by that person. Now you're going to go back and be like, hey, let me support this person. If you are a coach, then maybe you'll find that you were like, oh, I'm not getting a lot of, coachees. And then the next thing you know, you're going to start getting all these people like, oh, girl, I forgot I want to sign up with you. So that's how I see it for the Virgos. Now, when Jupiter goes back into Pisces for Libra, this is in your sixth house, which has to do with your health and wellness. So I think it's really important for the Libras to remember the things that you said you were going to work on. Or maybe you already have a plan, but you just haven't been following it. Or maybe you need to fine tune it because, Libras, y'all are about refining a thing. But maybe go back and revisit that teaching that it's about how do you have more balance and harmony in your life. And also the problems that you have, Libra, you may feel like you have new perspective and you know what to do to solve your problems. I love that for y'all. Could bring a job or some gigs, something like that. Work. It could bring some work that brings good fortune. It can exacerbate problems. The sixth house is one of these houses where problems can abound, but if you use the energy of Jupiter, then it will help you to solve the problems. But if you're not willing to solve the problems, Jupiter might exacerbate the problems. Okay. Now, for Scorpio, this is in the fifth house. So when Jupiter moves back into your fifth house, Scorpios may feel freaking lit up. And creatively, Scorpios sometimes are a little bit like intense. But they'll be more jovial and fun. It could bring up topics regarding children, blessings regarding children, actually, because Jupiter is the sign of children and Pisces on that fifth house, children. So some blessing regarding children. Also, it could bring back more romance. It could help Scorpios make advancements in dating. Maybe even Scorpios will be engaging in one of their favorite activities, sex, more. And Scorpios might be like, I want to have more fun. I know I'm revisiting that. I'm like, ooh, I was having fun, and then some kind of way I got away from having fun. So I got to get back to having fun. Okay, so next is Sag. So for the Sages, this is in the I'm gonna put myself right here. This is in the fourth house. So it could bring some changes in your home or regarding family. This is a house that represents our emotions, so it could have something to do with our emotions. So yeah, maybe you get some perspective, and you just get perspective, and emotionally you might feel more soothed with Jupiter being there. This is your planet. So for your planet, Sag, to be in a place where it's good is beneficial for you. So yeah, something new popping off for the Sages, I would say. I say it could be a blessing. Again, some of it is just you some of it is just you have to make sure you're doing what will bring blessings in order for Jupiter to bring you blessings. Jupiter it will just blow up whatever is there. It just expands it indiscriminately. So for Capricorns, this is your third house. And for Capricorns, it could bring like a healing to the mind and the mindset, make you more abundant, feeling more optimistic. Because Capricorns can be a little bit negative Nancy's out there. You don't mean to be. It's just your sign. It's a very realistic sign. We're not going to get too excited. We're going to get this work done. That's what y'all do. But yeah, it can maybe blow up contacts if you have like an email list or a following of something. You could Capricorns may find that expands for them. You may be some of the ones who are very creative at this time, but it might kind of come out of frustration. Something happens and you just start, channeling this creative energy. Maybe it's writing, or some type of art also. And it could bring healing with the siblings or neighbors or friends, people that you might need some healing perspective about. It could definitely help in business for the Capricorns. Now, for the Aquariuses, Jupiter going back into Pisces is your second house. Now, I love this for the Aquariuses because this could mean Aquariuses, you're going to get some more money. You'll find that you get an increase in some kind of way. And it is an emphasis also on taking care of yourself, especially when it comes to eating. Um, yeah, self care is really important. And maybe there was a teacher y'all were listening to. You're not listening to the teacher, and you're going to be like, I need to go back and listen to that teacher. What did that teacher say I'm supposed to do about my food? And some of y'all might want to be getting mm, better at managing your money. So Saturn coming back in there is like, you remember we started um, this money course, this money mindset, this money management course, and we didn't finish it, or I need to go revisit this teacher that was teaching me about money. It could be something like that for you all. Pisces, last but not least, Jupiter coming back into your sign is bringing a perspective on your whole life. Um, you know, I think it could help to make Pisces feel like they can have perspective. But the thing is, if you don't have perspective already and you're not open to it, it's going to blow up whatever perspective you have. It's going to like expand, is what I mean when I say blow up. It's going to like enlarge whatever is there already. It could bring like this perspective on your body, your health, your well-being, perspective on your life and the direction that you want it to move forward. It might be even that some of the Pisces are kind of like, I finally see what I'm supposed to do, what I'm supposed to do. So I love that. We won't see this transit once Jupiter is out of Pisces. It won't be there for another 12 years. So enjoy this last little bit. It being in Aries is a very good thing. Very, very good thing. Um, okay. And then Mercury's going to go into Scorpio on the 29th. So, yeah, that'll just raise up this energy of the Scorpio. Maybe we're going to get some new ideas and come up with some to-do list or something like that with Mercury going into Scorpio. Definitely a good time to like stop and look at what is up here in this mind and see, what kind of self-care do you need for it up there. But it'll bring all the Scorpio topics to the foreground, which is what I talked about earlier. Mars goes retrograde on the 30th. Mm, mm, mm. And so Mars retrograde. So Mars has been in Gemini for a good long while. I can't remember how many months, but it's been there for a minute. Maybe August or something like that. Won't leave until January. So, wow. No, I think it might be more like February, March before it leaves because it's going to stop retrograding in January. And when it stops, I think it's going to be, I can't remember where it ends its retrograde, but anywho, it's going to end its retrograde on the 12th of January. So once Mars goes retrograde, then everything that Mars is known for, being driven and passionate, courageous, and like this energy of protection in the warrior, it really does become more of like, we're going to look at this inside of you. And in the world, it'll look like, all of those topics are weak. So don't let it sway you. Okay. When you see stuff in the news and it just seems like there's not protection or, I don't know, something with military topics it's just like, how can I just do this? Or I don't know. It could be a good thing if there's a war going on and something gets weakened, but the energy is not fully accessible. Like feeling driven, hustle and grind. Like we're not going to be feeling like hustling and grinding. um, if you are Aries or Scorpio, you really and truly need to do the work rest thing with Mars retrograde. Um, and also really pay attention to the topics that are coming up for you. You can see what this retrograde is bringing up for you. So pay attention to those topics. And the retrograde is going to be, well, I guess let me check now. Now I really got to look and see. Mars went into Gemini August 20th. So since August 20th, what has been coming up for you? What has been a predominant theme? And it may not be totally Geminian. It might be like, think about what's really been on your mind, because that's Gemini. Or what are the things that you're talking about? But it may have something to do more with that house that Gemini represents. The area of life, So, but you can see it without having, I'm not going to go through the signs on that, but you can see it. If you just think about what has been, what's heightened for me during this time. So, yeah. That's what we have. And then we get into November. So, yeah, next week, Monday is the Day of the Dead, Halloween, whatever you want to call it. I never know how to say that other word on the Wheel of Life. So I don't like saying those words because there's sounds in there that don't match the letters that I'm used to seeing. Samhain or something like that. Samhain. Let me see, is there anything else I wanted to? Okay, I think that's it for that. And I said I was going to pull one more card. And I'm the queen of inspiration. I love, love, love inspiring my sisters. We just give thanks to the ancestors. Thank you for living so that we may live. So here is an affirmation for you. It says, as long as there is hope in my heart, my spirit, as long as there is hope in my heart, my spirit can rise from the depths. Y'all just saw me. See, if we were together, y'all be throwing stuff at me. Y'all be like, girl, that's just too much truth right there. That's too much alignment. As long as there is hope in my heart, my spirit can rise from the depths. If that ain't Scorpio, I don't know what is, sisters. Look, y'all know I love y'all. Happy, happy new moon in Scorpio. Thank you so much for watching. Peace and love.